We're introduced to a heartfelt scene where Maverick, a father, educates his young children, Star and Seven, on the harsh realities of being black in America. He coaches them on how to react if they ever face unwarranted questioning by the police. Regardless, he encourages them never to lose sight of their black heritage, instructing them to understand their rights and maintain their dignity. Star, 9, and 7, 10, are informed about their predestined challenges as black individuals. Fast-forwarding to their growth, we find this family flourishing. They reside in a community known as Garden Heights, predominantly populated by black people. Maverick earns his living by running a small grocery store, having left his previous life as a drug dealer behind. Star and Seven once attended Garden Heights High School, but due to the school's low quality, Lisa, their mother, transferred them to a prestigious school in the Williamson district. Attending this school requires Star to suppress her black identity, the way she communicates, socializes, and even avoids conflicts. Here, she finds solace in her close friends, Haley and Maya, who stand up for her against white bullies. Star is also in a relationship with a boy named Chris, for 6 months, a fact that baffles many wealthy white students. Over the weekend, Star joins her friend Kenya, Seven's half-sister, at a party. While there, she reunites with Khalil, a childhood friend, and they catch up after a long time apart. Their interaction is cut short by a shooting incident at the party, which prompts Khalil to rush Star to his car. Inside the car, Khalil confesses his life struggles, including his grandmother's unjust dismissal from the hospital and subsequent cancer diagnosis. These circumstances forced him into drug dealing. He also shares his life principles, derived from the rapper Tupac, who motivated the black community through his music. Their conversation is interrupted by a police officer who stops them. Star, remembering her father's instructions, places her hand on the dashboard, but Khalil refuses to comply. The situation escalates when the officer orders Khalil out of the car. Star contemplates recording the encounter but fears the consequences. As the officer checks Khalil's driver's license, Star scrambles to find her dropped phone. Khalil, attempting to maintain his composure, picks up a comb from the car, which the officer misinterprets as a weapon, leading to a shocking event. Khalil is shot multiple times, dying instantly, leaving Star in utter shock and despair, confirming that he held no weapon except a harmless comb. Following the tragic incident, Star is accompanied by Lisa and Maverick to the police station. There, she is interrogated by detectives Gomez and Willie, who seem more interested in Khalil's character and actions than the police officer who killed him. Carlos, Star's uncle and also a police officer, intervenes and halts the questioning. The traumatic event deeply impacts Star, and she is grateful for her father's continual support. When visiting Khalil's grieving grandmother, the community's gaze focuses on Star. Carlos and his wife also come to offer their condolences, while Chris, unaware of the situation, tries to contact Star about their date. Unable to explain what's transpired, Star simply says she can't make it. Outside, Maverick and Carlos discuss the aftermath of Khalil's death. The revelation that the responsible officer is on paid leave unsettles them, despite Carlos' assurance that the district attorney will conduct a full investigation. Maverick is skeptical about the potential for justice. Back at school, Star wrestles with whether to reveal that her friend was killed by a police officer, fearing the stereotype of an angry black girl. Choosing silence, she carries on as usual, even when Haley probes her. One afternoon, while at a cafe with Kenya, Star sees a news broadcast on Khalil's death. Khalil's mother publicly demands justice for her son, a scene that leads Kenya to lament about media portrayals of black people. Kenya urges Star to reveal the truth, but she is hesitant, partially because her parents advised her not to tell anyone. Kenya's father, King, who is a major drug dealer and former associate of Maverick, approaches them. He knows about Khalil's death and tells Star that forgetting the incident would be harder than witnessing it. He advises Star to move on with her life. After dropping off Star, Maverick and King have a conversation, during which King subtly warns Maverick to ensure Star doesn't tell the police about Khalil's involvement in his drug business, hinting at potential danger for Star. At home, Lisa overhears Maverick's conversation with King and fears for Star's safety. She urges Maverick to relocate for the sake of their family, but Maverick believes King will not harm them, just as he didn't when Maverick left the drug world. On the day of Khalil's funeral, Star shares with Maverick Khalil's perspective that the legal system is stacked against black people. Maverick acknowledges the cycle that often leads black people into drug dealing due to financial necessity, but he regrets how drugs also ruin their community. He is adamant about not repeating his past mistakes. Maverick strives to be a positive role model for his children. At the church, Star is moved to tears seeing Khalil's body lying in the coffin. All attendees, including King and his family, listen as a woman named April, a lawyer from Jazz for Justice, delivers a passionate speech. She encourages a peaceful protest, pointing out the police's unwillingness to properly reprimand the officer responsible for Khalil's death despite credible witnesses. Her words inspire the congregation, and she seems to specifically invite Star to join in. After the mass, a group organizes for the peaceful protest at the police station. Concerned about potential chaos, Maverick urges his family to return home, disappointing some who expected them to join. True to Maverick's fears, the protest quickly turns violent, and the news coverage draws Chris's attention. He calls Star to confirm her and her family's safety. Meanwhile, April visits the family home to speak to Star. She emphasizes the importance of Star's testimony to strengthen the charges against Bryant, the officer who shot Khalil. She suggests that Star should be vocal about the incident on various platforms to draw attention. Maverick agrees, but Lisa, worried about Star's well-being, disagrees. April leaves after expressing that Star can reach out to her at any time. Star reveals her childhood trauma, where her friend Natasha was killed in a shooting incident by one of King's men, and regrets her decision to stay silent back then. The situation with Khalil's death leaves her unsure of what to do. To Star's surprise, her school is closed due to a student protest for Khalil's justice. She is disillusioned, feeling that the protest is more of an excuse to skip school and tests rather than a genuine concern. She calls Carlos to pick her up, and they head to the hospital where her mother works. There, she tells her mother that she will speak up for Khalil. That night, accompanied by April, Star goes to the TV station for an interview. She appears with her face blurred, but she's led more towards describing who Khalil was rather than giving her testimony about the incident. In an unexpected move, she reveals that Khalil was forced into dealing drugs by King in the Garden Heights area. However, Star bravely shifts the conversation back to the shooting incident. Later, the family goes out to dinner. As they chat, Star spots King waiting for them outside. Maverick confronts King, but the situation is defused when the police arrive and King leaves. The police, however, suspect Maverick of drug dealing and search him. They find nothing, and Lisa provides Maverick's ID to them. Despite being innocent, the police refuse to let Maverick go, leading to resistance from his family. Star takes out her phone and starts recording the incident, as do other people in the restaurant. Eventually, the police release Maverick, and the family heads straight home. Star expresses remorse, feeling that she should have kept quiet. Maverick, however, reassures her, emphasizing the importance of speaking out and not letting others silence her. Later, while at Maya's house with Haley, Star watches a news report favoring Bryant. The narrative paints the neighborhood Bryant worked in as a notoriously violent and crime-ridden place, and Bryant's parents vouch for him as a good person. Haley's empathy for Bryant over Khalil confounds Star, especially considering Haley's participation in the previous day's protest. Further, Haley has stopped following Star on social media due to Star's posts on racial injustices, leading to an argument and a strain in their friendship. Star confides in her mother about her fight with Haley. Lisa advises Star not to dwell on it too much and to forgive her friend if the positive aspects of their friendship outweigh the negative. However, if that's not the case, she suggests that Star should let the friendship go. On prom night, Chris talks to Star about her TV interview, revealing he knew the obscured figure was her. He asks about Khalil to understand Star's situation better. Star explains her traumatizing experiences of witnessing the deaths of two close friends and the need to switch between her Garden Heights and Williamson selves. Chris drives Star and Seven home that night and is initially mistaken as a driver by Maverick. Lisa, however, is already acquainted with Chris and warmly welcomes him. Maverick, feeling left out, gets angry, leading Chris to leave, but Star manages to calm him down. Suddenly, their home is targeted by King's men, who are terrorizing Star because of her TV interview. Feeling unsafe, the family decides to take refuge at Carlos's house. Maverick, however, chooses to stay back with Seven to confront King and protect their home. The following morning, Carlos speaks to Star about the shooting case. He explains that some people may not consider it a crime but a routine stop that went tragically wrong. However, Star is disappointed by this viewpoint, arguing that these operational standards unfairly target black people and wouldn't apply if the driver was a white man driving a Mercedes. The day of the trial arrives, and Star prepares to testify before a mostly white jury. She remains composed throughout, effectively explaining her testimony. Back at school, Haley approaches Star but fails to recognize her own racial bias. She ignorantly asserts that Star has always been different and non-threatening, unlike Khalil, who was a drug dealer. Enraged by Haley's ignorance, Star takes a comb from Haley's bag, asking if it looks like a weapon, mimicking the wrongful perception that led to Khalil's death. Chris tries to calm Star down, but she is distracted by a message from Kenya saying that Seven was beaten by King. Risking their safety, Star and Chris venture into King's house to rescue Seven. They encounter King's wife, who instructs them to leave before King returns. While on the road, they see numerous protests demanding justice for Khalil, especially after the verdict acquits Bryant of all charges. Deciding to join the cause, Star instructs Chris to take Kenya and Seven to a safe place while she joins the demonstrators. As the protesters encounter heavily armed police, Star steps up to address the crowd, declaring her role as a key witness in Khalil's case and urging them to continue fighting for justice. However, the police's refusal to listen and their forceful response, including tear gas, disperses the crowd. Star and Maverick then rush the injured Seven to Maverick's shop to find milk to alleviate the effects of the tear gas. King seizes the opportunity to further terrorize Star by ordering his men to set Maverick's shop on fire, hoping to kill Star inside. Thankfully, the community sees what's happening and attempts to help those trapped. Maverick, Carlos, and Lisa arrive just in time and manage to evacuate them through the back door. King attempts to attack Maverick but loses his gun in the process. The gun ends up in the hands of Sakani, who points it at King in defense of his father. Star intervenes to prevent the police from shooting her brother, expressing her frustration about the repetitive and oppressive cycle that black people have to endure. She pleads for an end to the violence. After the incident, Maverick plans to rebuild his burned shop. Thanks to the help of the Garden Heights community, the police arrest King for starting the fire. The neighborhood becomes safer without King's influence. Seven successfully finishes school and prepares for college, offering a glimmer of hope amid the chaos.